Presenting Benny Goodman and his music.
Morning, everybody. We are working from home today. Good morning all around. Working from home as I got a delivery coming any second now. Hey, Carolyn, Chris, and Lori. Hey, Karen. Hey, Kathleen. Hey, Martin. Hey, Miles. Hey, Marsha, Linda, Sarah, Kurt. Hey, Betsy, and Pam.
Benny Goodman, ladies and gentlemen, the man with the torrid clarinet and the even more torrid band who purveys assorted rhythms.
Hey, Stephen on YouTube. Hey, Denise, Pam, Maureen, Cindy, Cheryl, Jeanette. Hey, Glenn. Hey, Grace. And pretty soon up on TikTok, I'll have a whole little slideshow of all of my attempts to recreate Get Back apparel. Morning, Mom. It's definitely the brightest thing I own. On the video, I don't think it's showing quite how colorful it is. Colors get a little bit muted on this thing. A speedy delivery was supposed to come yesterday. Maybe I change the color. Alexa, turn northwest white. Yeah, there it is. That's actually quite good. Alexa, turn the blob white. Hey, Dad. Hey, Carolina in Poland, over on YouTube. Hey. Morning, Todd on Twitch. Hey, Joanne. Is Jordana out there? She was the one who hit me to the availability of this shirt. Hey, Laura, glad to have you. Hey, Grandma Belle. Hey, nobody's late here yet. It's only been a minute. Boker Tov, Lisa. It's definitely the most colorful thing in my closet now. I remember I wore a tie-dye shirt to class one day in high school. The teacher was like, I was looking for something more drab. Okay, well, the boots are mustard color, sure. But this whole rainbow look, that's a new one for me. Kathy, this is a replica of a shirt that John Lennon wore on January 21st, 1969 during the Get Back tours. I'll put up a TikTok slideshow later of all of my attempts to recreate Beatle outfits. Hey, Julianne. Working from home because I'm expecting a delivery any second. And hey, Kelly from Chicago Movie Tours is out there. Oh, we got some movies to show you today. It tends to come right in the middle. I got my keys in my pocket. So yeah, I've never really dug TikTok. There's just a couple of feeds that I really like on there. The one that does Doff reactions for Doff Yomi is terrific. Hey, Jordana, I was hoping you'd be out there. Happy birthday, Jordana. Morning, Sherilyn Rockford. Give it just a minute. I'm going to show you guys some movies today.
Benny Goodman presents Helen Ward singing With All My Heart.
All right. Well, that's about enough time to get started as we got a bit of a longer one going today. No, Benny, I said to stop. I said to stop. All right. So tonight's mini tour, as you can see right over here, finally getting the hang of where to point. Tonight's mini tour is going to be about Bohemia and the Wind Blew In, a tea room that was raided 100 years ago this month, leading the proprietors to tell the judge, "Your Honor, we swear there was no snuggle pupping at the Wind Blew In. They were sentenced to read a book of fairy tales to cure them of their feminist ideals." Did not work. But some years back, I wrote a novel called Just Kill Me that was all about a ghost tour guide who makes places more haunted by killing people at them, and decided to write Lillian's story into it. In fact, it was why I eventually found out whatever became of her. I decided if I was going to put this into a novel, I really ought to double down a little bit. So, a few months before the book came out, my editor asked me if I could maybe make some videos about behind-the-scenes stuff from the book, some of the history behind the book. And for them to ask me to do anything like that was kind of rare. I thought, ooh, what kind of budget can I have? And he said, well, none. You'll have to make them yourself, but we'll put them on our webpage. So I spent like a month working on all of these videos. They eventually garnered nearly 80 views apiece. But anyway, I'm going to show a couple of them today. I haven't seen them in 5 years, so I hope they hold up okay. So, first of all, this is the Riveted video for Simon & Schuster's Riveted department, all about the real historical Lillian Colley. Enjoy! Hey, I'm Adam Seltzer, author of a new book called Just Kill Me. It's all about a ghost tour guide who makes places more haunted by killing people at them. It's full of real historical mysteries, and this is behind the book. One thing I was really eager to write into the book was the story of Lillian Colley, a flapper who sort of set Chicago on fire in 1922. Lillian was a regular at the Dill Pickle Club, which was a hangout for poets, artists, and weirdos in Chicago in the early 20th century. I first ran into stories about her in the newspaper archives about 10 years ago. She was a reporter by day and a circus performer for a while, and occasionally her antics would make national news. Around 1922, she started up her own bohemian hangout called the Wind Blew In with 2 N's. The cops used to raid the place all the time because of rumors that they were holding petting parties there. She and her friend, Virginia Harrison, had to go before a judge and say, "Your Honor, there is no snuggle pupping at the Wind Blew In." That's my favorite word ever now, snuggle pupping. So the judge sentenced them to read a book of fairy tales to cure them of their bohemian ideals. It didn't work for Lillian. In 1924, she did a big interview about how flappers heralded a new era of opportunity for women. Now, for years, this was where her story stopped. What became of her after that article was a huge question mark. I had blog posts up begging for relatives to contact me if any of them were out there. But she had just vanished off the record. Maybe she got married, maybe she left the country, maybe she died, maybe Lillian Colley wasn't her real name. It was a really big mystery. And I'd always wanted to write her into a novel. Just Kill Me was the perfect opportunity. But I decided if I was going to write her into a book, I needed to really buckle down and solve this one. I already had every article about her that you can find online, but I figured that maybe if I got all of the other Chicago newspapers, all of the other stories about her from 1922, maybe one of them would have a clue. So I wrote down all the dates she made the news in the Chicago Tribune, which is online, and went to the microfilm room at the Harold Washington Library, where they have reels and reels of all the defunct Chicago papers that have never been digitized. You can't do a text search, you have to know what date to look at, and then you just have to scroll through. I'm there a lot. When I'm looking up one story, sometimes I'll run into some other story that has been forgotten. Alright, today we're looking Lillian up in the archives of the old Chicago Post. She was actually a reporter for them, so besides just stuff from the trial, maybe we'll find some of the articles she wrote. That'd be really cool. There could be a whole other book in this spool. Let's go. Now, if you haven't read the book yet, this is a bit of a spoiler warning. Megan solves this in the book a lot faster than I did in real life. In the Herald Examiner archives from 1922, I hit pay dirt. One of the articles about her mentioned that her mother's name was Nellie Lieberman. That meant that Lillian herself was probably born as Lillian Lieberman. And that turned out to be correct. Looking that up led to information about her parents, Meyer Lieberman and Nellie Bensonsohn Lieberman. But I was still at a dead end until I found Meyer Lieberman's draft card from World War II, which mentioned a relative named Lillian Gerard in L.A. When I looked her up, bingo, she was living with her husband, her son, and her divorced mother, Nellie Bensonsohn. So next thing I know, I found out that Lillian Gerard was a writer under the name Nellie's Child, like Nellie's Child. And this is where it all exploded. That name was all over the archives. She wrote a couple of mystery novels, a couple of more serious novels, and even a play that was on Broadway for about a week. The play was just republished, and the company that republished it put me in touch with her son, who is still alive and well. He sent me this picture of the two of them from the 1970s. I love this shot. She still looks great. He remembered her talking about some of the places she hung out in Chicago, like the Dill Pickle Club, but had no idea that she'd kind of set the city on fire in 1922. Now, one mystery remains. What became of her partner, Virginia Harrison? A lot of people think that they were more than friends. Her son doesn't know, but thinks it's very possible. Now, if they were, they apparently had a big falling out right after their trial in 1922. A month later, when someone torched The Wind Blew In, Virginia was described as a disgruntled former employee who was now the chief suspect. Whether they ever found her, I don't know. She disappears from the record completely right around then. One paper said that her real name was Jean Lawrence, but both Virginia Harrison and Jean Lawrence were very common names back then, so they aren't easy to trace. So that mystery lingers, and there's still more to learn about Lillian, too. Only one of her play scripts is known to survive, but we have the titles of several more that were submitted for copyright between the 1930s and 1970s. Maybe one of them was about her experiences as a flapper, for all we know. I checked in at the U.S. Copyright Office last time I was in D.C., and they still had all the forms she submitted, but the manuscripts themselves are long gone. They could still be out there somewhere, though. Some of them. In the meantime, her story is an integral part of the plot of Just Kill Me, which is out from Simon & Schuster, August 2016. A little tag at the end here. And of course, if you watched the presentation a couple weeks ago, you know that this was, we have now figured out what happened to Virginia Harrison. She became a bank robber. Now that I've shown you that video, there's another one that I made shortly thereafter when I finished up doing 4 or 5 videos like that about Chicago history things, and it had become entirely apparent that the publisher was not going to push any of this stuff or anything to do with the book, no matter how good the reviews were. I started doing things like saying, hey, I'm going to go to all of my events for this wearing one of those wigs like Sia wears that covers her whole face and half of it's black, half of it's white, just to see if they'd react. They didn't, so I figured I could also make this video called Behind the Book, Killing Folks and Breaking Stuff. It never aired. I quote John Lennon. I don't believe in ghosts. I just believe in me. Or something like that. Hi, I'm Adam Seltzer, author of a new book called Just Kill Me. It's all about a ghost tour guide who makes places more haunted by killing people at them. It's only semi-autobiographical, and this is Behind the Book. So the question I'm getting asked the most about Just Kill Me, by far, is it autobiographical? Now, I did work in the ghost tour business for about 10 years, just like Megan works in the book, so of course a lot of my research, my tour jokes, and stories of things that happened on tours over the years got worked into the book. But that's not what people mean when they ask that question. What they mean is, did I really kill people to make places more haunted? Now let me explain. What goes on in the book is Rick and Cynthia, Megan's bosses, know about some technique called punching people in the brain. It's a quick, clean, and efficient way to kill people, no mess at all, and it kind of reproduces the effect of a ghost. Something kind of gets left behind in the environment, and people's brains react to it in a certain way, and they feel like they've seen a ghost. Now, Sin uses it in the book on elderly volunteers from the nursing home where she works at her day job. It's easy to find volunteers in a nursing home. And the backstory is that they learned it from a woman named Marjorie K. Stone out in a town called Magwitch Park where they grew up. Death, disease, and destruction, drowning, dismay, and despair, darkness, deterioration, detritus everywhere. Now, I am proud to say most of the historical stuff in the book is true. It's the result of a lot of research. The exception is the stuff about Magwitch Park, which isn't even a real suburb. Marjorie K. Stone is a fictional character, punching people in the brain is a fictional thing, and killing elderly volunteers to make places more haunted is also a fictional thing. In real life, the people that I killed at tour stops were really just a part of my day job, which is with the CIA.
I think I can talk about this now. I'm not with them now. Now, we all know how they like to classify things after the fact and make you look bad in elections, but I'm pretty sure I still have the go-ahead here. I am a highly trained assassin, and also a master of disguise. I don't even go to like cosplay events or anything, because that just would not be fair. They gave me a lot of leeway to do the job the way I thought was best. So, having learned a kind of a similar technique to what's in the book, I would get my targets to places like, say, the site of the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, and, do my job. So, they certainly were not volunteers like the ones in the book, but they were all bad guys. They were mostly bad guys. There were a couple maybe that I was a little bit on the fence on, but my job was not to ask questions. So, and I never did really get Ghost to show up, but, no regrets. Not really. I mean, sometimes I stand in front of a mirror staring into it and seeing absolutely nothing reflected back at me. Just a hollow shell where a person used to be until little bits of his soul got chipped away a splinter at a time. I mean, who doesn't? We all have those nights, right, where the sound of the air conditioner is like a freight train roaring through your entire body, taking away any vestige of goodness that was ever left. Who would have thought the old man had so much blood in him? Come, thick night. Hell's murky. And then, you remember the guy who got away, and you Toward thee I roll, thou all-destroying but unconquering wail. To the last I grapple with thee, from hell's heart I stab at thee. For hate's sake I spit my last breath at thee. Sink all coffins and all hearses into one common pool. But my point is, I'm not with the CIA anymore. I haven't killed anybody in the longest time. If you should come on one of my tours when you're in Chicago, you are totally safe. Unless you've got this birthmark shaped like President Harding, in which case, come on out and show yourself. This ends tonight. Just Kill Me is out August 2016 from Simon & Schuster. Killing folks and breaking stuff. Killing folks and breaking stuff. Act all rowdy, you act all tough, start killing folks and breaking stuff. I know a guy, his name is Mike. He ran over me with his bike. Followed him to the comic book store. Mike ain't gonna ride his bike no more. I'm killing folks and breaking stuff. Killing folks and breaking stuff. Act all rowdy, you act all tough, start killing folks. Everybody killing folks and breaking stuff. Killing folks and breaking stuff.
All right, that was my first time seeing that since I made it about 5 years ago. I'm not sure they ever put that one up on their website for reasons entirely unclear. Well, they didn't put up half of the ones that were more serious, so, All right. So thanks a lot, everybody. Those were a couple of relics of the past. But tonight, we'll talk a lot more about Lillian Colley and Virginia Harrison on 1920s Bohemia and the Wind Blew In, right back here on Mysterious Chicago at 8 p.m. Until then, everybody, you can find out. There's a lot more about Virginia just recently posted over on the Patreon down below. Check out some TikTok for some videos later. This is going to be one of those things where I just list off all of my different links. Anyone, thanks a lot for joining me. I'm Adam Seltzer for Mysterious Chicago Tours. I will see you guys all tonight at 8 p.m. for 1920s Bohemia and the Wind Blew In. And until then, everybody, stay warm, stay safe, from me. And stay spooky, everybody. Have a great day.